tonight, your boy is here and honored to be sitting across from a fellow podcaster. Actually, a guy who, when I started, let me rephrase that, when we started building this movement called SQR Podcast, I saw this guy bubbling in the background, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. I like what's happening here. I like the buzz. I like the feel. And I said to myself, one day I'd like to be on his show. But before I get on his show, let me try to throw a curveball and get him on my show. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here and honored to be sitting across from the man, the legend himself, the guy, the brains behind Bravery Studios. Marv, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. No, thank you so much for being here. And I had to give you that intro because that's how I felt when I was, putting all this together, and I was sitting there with a team, and they were like, yo, we need to look at other podcasters and see what they're doing. And I'm like, nah, let's just stay in our lane, bro. Let's just put blinders on. And Manny was like, no, but look at this guy. And here I am sitting across from you.
Appreciate it. Wow. No, you have no idea how much I've admired you from a distance. No lie. I found you from a sticker on a.
Was it a toll? Was it a toll at the Garden State Parkway? Or, you know what? You forget that. No, I didn't put that sticker there, ladies and gentlemen. New Jersey Turnpike. I did not put that sticker there. Go ahead.
It was a deli in Clifton, that I went to every morning, and there was a Square Rosenberg sticker there. I looked you up, bing bong, you're in the art factory. Wow.
Yeah, it's been those stickers really, as I really went guerrilla style coming from the music industry, the guerrilla marketing. Yeah. So Marv, before we even crack into your story, could you share with our guests who don't know who you are, because you're pretty well known in the podcast world in NJ and I'm sure across the East Coast, but let people know who you are and where they can find you.
My name is Marv, the producer. You can find me at Bravery Studios NJ on Instagram and most platforms, braverystudios.com if you want to check out the website. And yeah, I'm just a humble guy. I'm just an average Joe. I had no idea I had a backstory or lore. I was like, this is crazy.
So the thing about it is our guests don't have to worry about that, because we're going to create that environment where we're going to dig into your history, dig into your story, because here at SQR Podcast, we're designed to educate, entertain, and encourage. And we do that through real stories from real people. And I just want to take this moment right now to big up my sponsor, Heineken. Thank you so much for being on board. Let's just toast, bang, to the best beer ever brewed.
Salud.
Yeah, the thing about Heineken and SQR is premium quality content, premium quality beer. So that's what we do here.
This was actually a staple in my household as a kid growing up. My father, Heineken was all over the place.
I like that. I like the word staple.
A staple, yeah. There was no other brand in the building in my household. My pops was a 100% a Heineken guy.
Oh, wow.
All the time, yeah. So watching you with the Heinekens, I was like, this is bringing up childhood memories now.
So let's go back to some of those childhood memories, because you know how we move here in SQR. I'm curious about the beginning of Marv the producer. Where were you born? Where's the lineage? Where was mom and dad from? Let's go back there.
Okay. I tried to create a nice narrative for a childhood story, but I don't really have one, man. I'm from Patterson. I was born and raised in the exact place where I'm sitting right now.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, and I'm one of six. I tell everybody my father was a baseball fanatic and my mother was a church-going woman. So
How did that sit?
I don't know. By the time I came to, they were already calling it quits. So I couldn't even tell you myself. But yeah. So imagine I just had a very diverse childhood in that aspect, and being one of six, I didn't really get a lot of attention put on me. Not because they didn't want to, but it's hard to focus on one when there's six of them.
Okay. So you had six brothers and sisters.
With me, it's six. So it's 5 brothers and sisters.
Okay. What was the dynamic? How many girls? How many boys?
It was the Brady Bunch. It was 3 boys, 3 girls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're the Brady Bunch.
And where in the 6 do you fall? Number 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm the third born, so I'm right in the middle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Did you feel the privilege of being right in the middle?
No. I wouldn't know. I guess,
2 things happen when you're in the middle. Yeah. You either get all the nice stuff, or everybody picks on you.
I was the firstborn son, so I got the privilege of being the firstborn son, where my pops definitely took me out more places than everyone else.
Okay.
Took me out to the park to play baseball and stuff like that. Even though I never caught a ball ever in my life. I feel like I told Jason this the other day. I feel like the biggest disappointment, but yeah, like I was not good with any sports whatsoever. But I definitely got the privilege of being the firstborn son.
Oh, nice. So, what was the family ethnicity? Where were you guys from originally?
My parents are both from Dominican Republic.
Okay.
They both came here very young, so like they spoke English like all the time in the house. So Spanish was only spoken when people were mad and whatnot. So. Yeah, and I think I had more of an Americanized childhood than a Dominican childhood. Like, I grew up in front of the TV. We had McDonald's all the time.
Okay.
There was Coca-Cola in the fridge every day.
Typical American.
Typical American, even though my parents were very, very ethnic people. They're just like, oh, just eat whatever's around, man.
Wow. So what's so funny is now I get the reference of not being able to catch a baseball because coming from the Dominican Republic, you would think, and I'm sure.
Crucify this man, right? Yeah.
So let's navigate this. However, so you felt the privilege of being the first boy.
Yeah.
Now that you're navigating through middle school, high school, what was that dynamic like? When were because when did you find out what your talent was?
It took long, man. Like I had to hit like a quarter life crisis before I figured this out. Because all through high school, I didn't have anything that I felt like I was exceptional at. So I wasn't exceptional at sports. I had never touched the camera. I had never really found any extracurricular activities that I excelled at, besides probably like playing video games. But back then, you didn't think that you could make a career out of that. Now,
true.
Forget about it. I
so,
would even bet Mark McGuire.
So, what group would you have fit in back then in the society of like middle school? Would you be the nerd or would you be the fun guy? You're definitely not the sports guy.
Oh yeah.
So
I was the class clown, man. But I hung out with like the gangbangers and stuff because that was really all that was around back like in my circle or that lived around me. I didn't really choose my friends because my friends were whoever lived close and whoever was in my classroom. So like, yeah, I hung around like a real tough crowd, but thank God I could make them laugh. You know what I mean?
Where did you go to school?
I went to School 5, like right up the hill from here, right where the falls are. If you go behind the Great Falls, there's a school right there, behind the stadium as well. And then I went down the road to Kennedy High School.
Okay.
Kennedy High School.
Oh, nice. Right here in the corner. Okay.
Right there, yeah.
Bong.
Right up here, man.
And what was if you remembered, what was in terms of your participation in school, were you focused or were you distracted?
No, I was very distracted, man. I didn't even know how bad I was until I looked back on it. But I was a class clown, so I'd get up and like it'd be stand up at at the comedy store, candy store, whatever.
Where do you think you got that confidence from?
I don't know, man. It just came. I have no idea. My parents are kind of quiet people. I have no idea. Maybe just being like at home, because I didn't talk at home at all. I didn't really talk to my siblings like outspokenly, disrespectfully. I spoke to them.
Yeah.
But I guess being quiet at home when I got to school, I was like, I can let loose now.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think, looking back retrospectively, do you think there was a family member that you knew or who was a comedian or who had a funny bone or who was confident? Maybe you think you got that thread or DNA link from that person now that you look back?
I think it was TV. I think I didn't have cable, so it was all like channels 1 through 11. That's all we had, right? So I'm watching sitcoms and talk shows all day. I was like suspended from school. So yeah, repeating stuff I heard on TV and imitating whatever movie was on. On the weekends, I think Channel 9 and 11 played like movies. So I've seen every Eddie Murphy movie, cover to cover. Beverly Hills Cop and The Golden Child. Somebody go watch The Golden Child if you haven't. I love that movie.
Yeah, that is a funny movie.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, that is a great movie.
Knife. Hey, DJ. I love that movie.
What was the grades like?
Bad. If I didn't have a D, it was an F. That was like the only two.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if you read my report card, it'd be something that I just do. That was it. That was my whole report card. Yeah.
I respect your honesty.
Yeah.
So as we navigate this, right? So how is that translating at home with mom and dad?
Still a lot of meetings, but no, I'm just kidding, parents. Why did I say that? No, I don't think my parents had the time to necessarily focus on what I was doing in school. It was just too much going on. It was 6 of us, and I had a brother with special needs, and then I had an older 2 teenage sisters. There was no time to sit there and look at what I was doing at all.
Nice. Nice. SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, chopping up with Marv, the producer here, dissecting all the ingredients that has led to him being the super producer that he is of Bravery Studios. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and crack into the next half of the story because it only gets interesting from here. From the D's and F, pronounced doofs, to complete A's across contribution in our world today. SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, my boy Marv. One.
The Schizo Tune, speaking my radio. What's up, man?
SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, cracking back in with the Honorable Marv, the producer. And I say honorable because it's an honor to be across from you.
Same here.
You know, I read, let me be honest with you. Your boy's been taking yoga. Don't shoot me, but I've been taking yoga. I've crossed over. And one of the teachers, she said something profound about when you go through your days, you know, you have these small gems that are hidden throughout the days for you to experience. But sometimes we are on this mad race that we miss these gems. And this could have been another mundane podcast for me. And none of my podcasts are mundane. I really treasure the time. So it's an honor to be across from you as we dissect and see the inspiration that's made you who you are.
Likewise.
So as we were talking a little bit behind the scenes, we realized that TV and the whole TV culture back then was really like your babysitter and your influence.
Exactly.
That gave you that confidence to try certain content and do certain things.
Bingo.
Why didn't you not consider being a comedian? Since you were getting positive feedback on your performance, for the lack of a better term.
I don't know. It never really crossed my mind. I don't know.
So what did cross your mind when you were going through high school? Like, what am I going to be? What did cross your mind at that time?
Directing is what I wanted to do. Definitely was like super into like Martin Scorsese and David Fincher like in high school.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to make movies because, like I said, we still didn't have cable even in high school, but we had a PS2, and the PS2 had a DVD player, and that was that was game changing. That's like if you unlock another chapter of the encyclopedia. Now I could watch this. Forget about it. So yeah, now I could watch movies. So yeah, I wanted to make movies, man. That was definitely a dream that I'm still working on.
Which is going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you, and you look back, what was one of the most iconic movies that you think made such an indelible impression on your life?
There's so many. There's just a metric ton. But Fight Club was a huge one. Fight Club, like, it's a red flag if you say that's your favorite movie now, which is a good thing.
I literally thought that.
You should be worried if somebody says my favorite.
I literally thought that.
But it also, like, if you can watch it and from outside of yourself and say, what's happening in this movie is kind of like not the position you want to take in life as a man, because it's kind of like criticizing the emasculation of men, right? It's kind of like breaking it down and saying, oh, we need to retort back to our primitive state and destroy the system and retort back to this caveman mentality where the strongest man is the one that should lead and whatnot. But it's also like laughing at itself too, because there's like advertising everywhere. You have Brad Pitt with his abs showing. You have all these like metrosexual tones, even homoerotic tones all over the place. So like if you like it, the movie is actually like laughing at you as you're watching it. and then they have a moment where the characters are working at a movie theater and they're splicing inappropriate stuff into the movies, and then as you're watching the end of the movie before the credits roll, that splice of an inappropriate moment from like pornography is in the actual movie.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like it's making fun of itself and it's making fun of you for liking it, but it's also like showing you like this is balance in life, man. You can't like lean any way like too far.
Yeah, true.
Once you're too far gone, you're in the danger zone.
SQR podcast. So when we say something profound, we call it dropping a jewel. You just dropped a jewel right now on SQR podcast. Yeah, and I do know this, that jewel, that zing comes from the creator that makes you go wow and makes that connection.
Yeah.
So let's navigate this. So now you finished high school. The grades were kind of doof.
I didn't finish high school. I actually I dropped out and had to do night school to get my diploma.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How did that affect the dynamic in the home?
I wasn't home at that point anymore. I had already moved out.
Which was, what age was this?
This was like 18, 19, around that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had already moved out. I moved in with my uncle because someone broke into my house and like stole literally everything from me. So I was like, all right, this is like a sign. Like, hey, let's move out of the hood, bro. But they did me a favor. I had like a car. I had car insurance, and then like my insurance had renter's insurance, and it covered everything.
Oh, nice.
Things that I brought used, I got to get a brand new one. It was like the best. Thank you.
Toast to renter's insurance.
Yo, whoever stole my whole life. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Let's navigate this.
Okay.
So now we are finishing up. You're moved out. You're independent.
Mm-hmm.
What's the whole dynamic with the girlies? How do you stay focused? How does that play into?
I am so bad with relationships and women. I need like a course. Like I need studies in college or something. Because the way I speak to you is probably the way I try to go on dates. Like, you ever seen Eddie Murphy movies? Like, I'm so bad at it, bro. But no, I'm still kind of bad at it. I mean, I just recently, and I shouldn't even talk about this. I just recently
you want to knock on the wood so it doesn't.
Knock on wood, but I'm in love with this girl right now. Like, I want to throw her in the air and catch her. Like, I'm so in love with her.
Oh, nice!
But,
congratulations, bro!
You,
congratulations to love.
But we're waiting to see where things go. I mean, it's still really, really new stuff, and it's new territory. Because like I said, I've been horrible with women my whole life.
What was your first relationship like?
Okay, so that one's interesting because like she was a Cuban refugee.
Oh my God!
She was going.
Where did you meet her, at the docks?
My mother's church. I love this guy. Yeah,
I was just being tongue in cheek, guys. No disrespect. I just couldn't miss that alley oop. Go ahead. Thanks.
My mother's church. She didn't speak English. She just come from Cuba, whatnot, and like I had this whole like movie scenario in my head where I'm like, I'm gonna save her. I need to save her.
She was beautiful too, right?
Dude, red hair. She was like Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow!
Carmen. And yeah, man, it was like this whole scenario where like I'm gonna take her family. I'm gonna like find them like somewhere beautiful to live. And
oh, so you were Superman coming in for the whole. Wow.
Captain Save a Girl, whatever you call it, bro. But like, yeah, and it just ended in a forest fire. That was just a bad relationship. Like, it was not even that necessary. She was already saved. There was no need for me to like swoop in.
So what's your takeaway from that whole dynamic, and how was that?
I didn't learn from it at all. I did it again like 5 more times. But
yo, I respect that.
I fall in love so fast, man. Like, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I'm not embarrassed to say it at all. Like I love hard, like as a human being. Even my clients, even people I meet, like I love human beings so much, man. It's just ridiculous. It's disgusting, actually.
No. You know what's so funny, my dude? And I gotta say this: that has to be one of the most profound jewels on this podcast. I'm gonna have you look into the main camera.
I wouldn't agree, but yeah.
Yeah. No, for real, because in our world, we're not taught to do that.
Yeah.
You're actually taught to dispose, cancel, dismiss.
Yeah.
You know, but the fact that you said that, and I read recently, life reciprocates the energy that you give to it. So if you're gonna love hard, it's gonna love you hard.
Thanks, man.
You know, so I wanna, SQR podcast, Squirrel Rosenberg dropping a jewel on SQR podcast. Thank you for being so vulnerable and honest with that, because when we talk about that and male and our culture, people are not as vulnerable as that. So big you up, Marv, for that.
I appreciate that.
Let's segue into how you're able to navigate now that you're on your own. What was your first job?
I worked at a video game store. I used to just hang out there, and they just gave me a job eventually.
Did you ask for the job, or did they like, yo, let's just hire this guy? They just handed you the broom.
It was definitely thinking it into existence because I knew just hanging out there they were gonna give me the job. This wasn't moved out. This is 14 years old. Right there, not even 5 minutes from here, Galaxy Games.
You knew hanging out in the store.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna give me the job. I knew it. Because I was that cool with the guy that owned the place.
Okay.
Yeah, his name was Dwayne. He kind of had like a Mike Tyson accent. He was a really big like video game guy, but he was in his 40s, maybe mid 40s. And I would let him tell me stories about video games and stuff. And I would buy anything he told me to buy. This guy could sell me freaking drywall inside of a PlayStation 2 case, and I'd buy it.
Wow.
And Dwayne, shout out to him, man. I miss that guy.
Yo, shout out to Dwayne.
Yeah, my first boss. Him and Jay the actual owner was a Korean fella named Jay, and he was hilarious too. It was like a sitcom, man. It was definitely like a sitcom working there. You had the usual suspects of odd characters buying, shopping there all the time. And then it's a downtown Patterson spot, so they sold jewelry on one side of the store, cell phones in the other,
and guns in the back.
maybe they didn't let me sell any of those stuff, but yeah.
No, that's interesting. So your passion for video game and producing and all that starts spiraling from there.
Yeah.
How do you transition out of that into where you are right now?
It's funny because podcasting found me, and it's funny that we're in this place because this is what started the podcasting journey. Because as I was growing up, as I got out of high school, stopped working in the video game store, I was just toying around with a camera. I was going through like a quarter-life crisis, and I definitely...
A quarter-life crisis.
Quarter-life crisis. I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life, and I was like, I'm 22, I'm about to be 23. If I get to 25, man, and I don't know what I'm trying to do, I'm probably going to go to the Army or something. Like, I was miserable. So I bought a camera. I remember I used to walk to work, to catch the bus to work, with my headphones in. I'm listening to like Tribe Called Quest. I'm listening to like Kendrick Lamar. It's like 2012 when like all these kind of like alternative rap started like getting big, like A$AP Rocky, Joey Badass, a lot of alternative stuff about people who like I made it. Mm-hmm. Tyler the Creator, like these people just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, with
a whole different like style.
Definitely left field with their
and just made it. And I remember I was watching A$AP Rocky at the end of his music videos. And he was just saying like, you could do it, man. Like I did it, Tyler did it, Kendrick did it. All these people are doing it. Just do it. So I bought a camera. As I'm walking down the street listening to like Tribe Called Quest, I'm looking at the buildings in Patterson, and I'm picturing that old school hip hop like boom bap sound. And I'm like, yo, I think I want to do documentaries about Patterson with the camera. And instead of using like, generic PBS show music, I want to use hip hop, like old school hip hop beats.
Yeah.
As I'm speaking and showing the pictures of the city. So I just started filming the city as I'm walking to work every day. And then eventually I convinced my friend to like hold the camera and record me as I'm speaking to the camera. And he was miserable doing it. We didn't have a tripod. We had to tape the camera. We found a tripod in this place, but it didn't have the little clip so you could slide the camera on.
Yeah.
So we had to tape the camera to the tripod so it could stay there. And then I had one friend with the boom mic, and we had a sock with a microphone in it. I think it was a broom handle? It was just a broom, right?
It was like a broom.
It was just a broom, and he was just holding it, and we just made it work, wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you still have that footage?
Oh, yeah, but it's not going to be shown to anybody ever again.
SQR Podcast, Cole Rosenberg. We're going to have the exclusive footage of this this trip through memory lane. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to pick up from that time, that moment, and get you to right now, where Marv, the producer, created this beautiful haven for podcasters and artists to really come and hone their talent. SQR Podcast, Cole Rosenberg, Marv the producer, Bravery Studios. We're chopping it up. Stay tuned. One.
The question comes up now,
about Nelson leaving Chicago, and he's moved to Patterson. The question is your reaction. You describe Patterson as a boom town.
Yeah, well, it is. It's booming in welfare. No, downtown Patterson is really something you shouldn't see after midnight. No, it's a lovely little city, and I mean, it's just my kind of town. That's all. I just like it. I like it.
It's your kind of town.
Yeah, I like it. I do. I like Patterson.
This is my city, Silk City, New Jerusalem, former home of the Napi Indians, one-time silk capital of the world, and the cradle of the American Industrial Revolution.
SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, Marv, thank you so much for being as vulnerable as you have been.
Thank you.
I know there's a young lady out there. Well, you say you're taken. You are with.
I hope so, man.
You say the fact that you were vulnerable with your perspective on love and loving hard.
Yeah.
That's big. I salute that, because I said in today's world, a lot of men are like looking left and right and not being, So I salute you for that. And let's crack into this. So now we find out that you got the camera, you created this footage, history with music. You use what you had. As we say in Jamaica, you take your hand on fashion. You MacGyvered it. MacGyvered it, right? Yeah. And SQR Podcast is going to show that footage. I'm just putting good energy out there. So now you're navigating that. You finished that. What's propelling you to go forward? Did you get some result from that? What created that extra spark?
Yeah, a lot of good feedback. Like someone I went to high school with, his name was Juan Perez. He was a rapper, and he saw the footage. He was like, "Yo, I think I want to make a song for you to use in one of your documentaries." I ran into him at Walmart or something, and he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen him since high school." He's like, "Yeah, I want to make a song for you." I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." We actually ended up filming a music video for him, and it was a great experience. Like, I loved working with him. I met Steve. I reconnected with someone else from high school. And we were here filming a music video for him, and I'm like, "Yo, this place is the Art Factory. Maybe we should try to connect. We all worked well together that time. Why don't we get a studio space in the Art Factory and just create a space for us to, do our thing? Because one's a rapper, one's a gamer, one's making videos about other things. Let's just work together and do it." And I just wanted to be in the Art Factory so bad. I just wanted to be part of this community here. Like I said, this is like 2012, 2013 or something. So I'm like 23. I'm 33 now, just for perspective. And we got it. We got a room here, but it wasn't built. Shout out to Dave. He's a good businessman. It's going to be right here. I'm like, "Oh, I see it." So I got the room. We got the room together, and it took him like 5 months to build the room. And remember, this is really early Art Factory. There's nothing here. None of this is here yet. This is all vacant.
Yeah.
And we paid him. 6 months went by. The room finally got done. I'm like, "All right, guys, we can start moving in now." By 6 months, everyone lost the energy to do it anymore. You know what I mean? That and the price, we were still too young to afford something at that price range. So the minute it was ready and he gave us the key, we just like, "Oh, we're gonna drop out. We don't have the money for this right now."
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that feel? How did you? Let me rephrase my question. How did you get over that disappointment of?
I wasn't disappointed. We're gonna do it again.
That's big.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again, and we did it again. So we did it again. We just didn't do it here because of we still weren't making that much money. But I found a location not too far from here, and we called it the Island. There's like a furniture store called Alfano.
Yeah.
And we went there. I found a space. This is when Juan had created the podcast studio, because when we got the space here, he had to think of, what am I gonna do there? I'm just a rapper. Like, what am I? He decided to make a radio station. So he created the radio station. He did it in his house, even without the Art Factory. He already started buying the equipment, put it all together. This man was a genius. Juan, God bless wherever you are, brother. I love you. He's a genius. He brought the equipment. He just started broadcasting right from his house. And then when I got the space here in Alfano Island, which we like to call the Island, I said, "Hey, I got our space there. Come through. Do the podcast thing there. Stop bringing people to your mom's house." And he just came through, and we did it together for like a year in there.
How many people were part of the first team that?
the team that I wanted to come to the art factory with was 4. When we went to the island, it was just me and him at first.
Okay.
And then I started doing gaming content, and he started doing underground hip hop podcast.
Okay.
And people just started joining. People just started coming to us. Him more so because he had the studio, the podcast studio. So people were already asking him, "Hey, can I record at your studio?" This is 2014, 15. No one had a podcast studio back then.
True.
This man was so ahead of the curve. He was running laps around the world already.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And yeah, people were recording. He got on the Darken Hour, the Road Point podcast, the Happy Hour, and it almost was. I felt like he didn't really know what he had yet, because it didn't last long for him, where he kind of wanted to do other things already. But to speed up the story, we ended up getting kicked out of that place, Alfano Island. We were way too young. We were having way too much fun having our own private space, and literally no one goes on that island. We had it to ourselves. We were partying, we were drinking, we were doing all this in the third, and we got kicked out. So when we got kicked out, we were like, "Yo, we got to find somewhere to go. Let's put our things together so we can afford somewhere. It's rather than you paying rent there, me paying rent there. Let's go to Clifton." We found a spot in Clifton. We came together. That's when it kind of became Bravery Studios, when we Voltron together to do it.
What year was this?
This was probably 2016.
Where did the name Bravery Studio come from?
It also is related to kind of the art factory too, because I used to walk past that. You know that underpass right there on what is that, Spruce Street?
Yes, right. You mean Grand Street.
There's an overpass. There's paintings from kids.
Yes, yeah.
I would walk past that thing every morning on my way to work, because I worked right next to this building as well. Like my adolescence and adulthood kind of is warped around this whole area.
Hey, wow.
Yeah. So I walked past that thing every morning on my way to work. I worked at a sign shop, a factory, which also led to some of my quarter life crisis, because I'm I didn't expect myself to be here sanding metal for 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? So I'm walking past this thing, and it just has quotes all over the place. And the big one that they had was, "If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough." And I'm telling you, man, I walk past this thing every day, bro. And every time I'm looking at this, I'm like, why am I scared to follow my dreams? I got the camera already. I'm already doing funny stuff. Why am I not just going headfirst, speed ahead with it? Why am I still working a day job and doing something that's not making me happy? So with that quote, I just kind of encapsulated it in one word. You have to have bravery to follow your dreams. I wasn't brave enough back then to do it. So now I am. I'm telling you, there's Chinese water torture on that wall, where they drop little drops of water on you every day until you go nuts with it.
Yeah.
I'm walking past this thing every morning, 8 a.m., and it's hitting me. I got to be brave enough to follow my dreams. I need to just do this already. And it finally caved in, and that's where Bravery Studios comes from. I found the bravery to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I toast and salute to that, my friend?
Man,
wow. Thank you for being...
interview, man. I'm usually not so poetic, bro. This is crazy.
So I gotta be honest with you, and I tell my guests this after we've gone into the podcast, is that my team has labeled me the Barbara Walters of the streets, because it comes out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But at the end of the day, that's why I like to capture it like this. However, let me ask you this. Let's stay back there.
Okay.
Let's just stay back in that energy, because I understand where bravery comes from.
Yeah.
And I salute you for saying that. But there is at least 50 quotes on that wall.
There is. Salvador Dali, it says, "Life is too short to go unnoticed." I took pictures of all of that stuff.
Why that quote?
That's the biggest one on the wall, and that's the one that hit the hardest. Because think about it. You could risk so much following your dreams. You could lose everything on a path that could lead to nothing. I'm gonna go invest in a farm, and I'm not gonna be able to grow anything. But you had to be brave enough to take that risk, to take that investment, because there's nothing there in the beginning. You have no backing. No one believes in you. You have no one has any reason to believe you. You have to have the bravery to do it.
So, another jewel that we uncracked so beautifully. Thank you, my friend.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. I'm a little sad over.
No, don't be. Because here's why. Here's why I salute you for being so vulnerable, my dude. If there's somebody watching this right now, or listening to this, going, "Wow, there's an inspiration that I'm missing every day. That if I just act on it," and that's what I salute you for this, because you acted, my dude, and that's what it takes right here. So let's
Years.
yeah.
Years.
The processing. So let's just
Walking past that sign, that thing.
3 years.
Yeah, I waited at that sign shop for 3 years. Yeah, which is around the corner from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me challenge you on this. So you read it, you're impacted, you're now inspired. Bravery Studio is now formed. You're in Clifton.
Mm-hmm.
Take me back to your first podcast in Bravery. Was it something that you guys did, or was it a guest that, what was your first podcast? Mics on, cameras on, lights on?
Well, since it was already operating before I came into the picture, because Juan was already podcasting.
Yes, you did say that.
The first one I did with myself and Steve was over there. I love that guy. So he was my brother. We did a video game podcast because that's what I knew the most.
So let's just do the right thing and big up Steve. What's Steve's handle? Let's big up Steve right now.
The franchise, my brother, my partner, my right hand man. I don't know if I would have still been going without him right now.
Big up. We need people like that in our lives. Yeah.
Huge impact in the studio.
Big.
Yeah.
So you garnered your team. Now you're doing.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your first time you're either, because was it video? Were you doing video and audio, or just straight?
We're doing video and audio together.
And what was your role?
I was kind of like the moderator. Like we would discuss video game news.
Okay.
And remember, this is like on the island. We're still like very young and very out of control. So there's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of cursing.
Okay.
We were villainy games. We were the bad guys of the video game internet culture.
Okay.
There was a lot of gaming channels, but all of them were very clean, squeaky clean people, and there was no like alternative for like the squeaky clean YouTuber for video games, at least. There were a lot of angry like nerds and stuff like that. Shout out to the angry video game nerds.
But you probably brought the street flavor.
Exactly. So we had 40 ounces.
Oh,
we had,
why not?
We had 2 giant 40s in every episode. We're popping them. We're drinking them. We're cursing each other.
Yeah.
We're saying like jokes to each other. And we had a chat where people were awarded for making fun of us.
Okay.
For roasting us.
Right.
We called it the burn chat. And when someone would say something so bad to us, they were like, "Oh, burn!" Like it was. That was the best year of my life doing that, man. That was the best because we'd go home crying sometimes. It was painful. It was painful.
Wow.
But it was so good. And man, if I go back to that, wow, that was a good fun time. It wasn't even really about the news we were talking. What we were talking about was irrelevant compared to what our audience was doing to us in the chat, like making fun of us. Because we were characters too. We had one guy that wore a bucket hat and sunglasses, and DX. I love him too. My brother. I saw him earlier today. He's actually recording at my studio right now.
Oh, nice.
And they made fun of him. Say he looks like the guy from Crazy Taxi.
Oh.
They made fun of me. I had an eye patch on, and it was.
So you're playing into the whole character, but you transition from that to now doing something more serious.
Yeah. Because the business picked up. And once the business took off, I couldn't have myself drinking and cursing and going wild on the internet anymore.
What is the business, or what was the business that took off?
It was the podcasting business. It was like 2018, 2019, people found out what podcasting was, and they were like, I want a podcast. And we had a studio. We were already there. We were ahead of the curve. So we had the studio. People were coming to us. Now I don't have time to write my own content. I don't have time to do a podcast. Now I got to edit stuff for other people. Now my studio has 10 other podcasts recording there as well. So that time slot that I had on Saturday night doing a podcast, I need to rent that out to somebody else because they're going to pay me for that time slot.
So you transitioned from hosting your own podcast to realizing that now you need to host others.
Yeah, exactly.
Serve others, build others.
Yeah.
Hence, Bravery Studios.
Exactly.
Wow. Phenomenal concept.
Yeah.
The build out as you do this, Let me ask you, when your first paying customer came, what was that like? Do you remember?
For my personal one, it was the illest girls next door, and they're still recording with me to this day. Of course, Juan had some clients before I came into the picture, but the first time I ever made a sale and I ever got someone to sign up for our studio was, her name is Jada Broadnax. I love this girl like a sister to this day. And she's still here. She's still recording with me.
Wow.
And I remember, I didn't think I had anything special in the studio. We're in Clifton, mind you, and we have not signed a new podcast in maybe 3 years. We started, we got 5 podcasts there, and then 3 years went by, we didn't sign nobody. From 2016 to 2018, nobody new came through that door. It was the same 5 people, and each one of them fell off little by little. They stopped coming. But then Jada came in, illest girls next door, Jada and Chami, 2 young girls, 20-year-olds. And kind of they came in at a point where like, all right, we're just there now. It's not anything exciting. We've been doing the same thing for 3 years already. There's no excitement in this anymore. She came in and she was mind blown by what we had, and it was It was the youth. She was 20 years old, and it's like, for her, it was mind blowing.
She saw the value.
She saw the value, and she had a dream of her own. Where like she said, I knew I was going to host my own show one day, and I found you guys, and you guys made it a reality. And I'm telling you, man, like, oh man, like I have like the wrong type of like end of this deal because I'm the business owner. Like I love watching this girl do her thing, man. She's a firecracker, and she does one hell of an interview. She's gonna be big. The other girls next door, I love those girls.
Nice,
like
nice. It's so interesting to hear because I love going back to that moment when that you gave them that opportunity through your platform, and they jumped at that opportunity.
Man, I'm a nerd. I'm a like not like involved in anything pop culture wise. This is a 20-year-old girl who's definitely in the know with all this like fashion and music and culture. Yeah. She is like the most popular girl in her school. And she's over here recording with me, and I'm like, all right, like, yeah,
nice,
welcome. And
she sees the value.
It, like, yeah.
No, she sees the value.
Yeah, it's been a good.
So,
working with her.
You know, we know life isn't a whole bunch of smooth transitions and growth. You know, there's a curveball or two that comes along the way.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what was your first, or what was a hiccup that you've experienced as you build out Bravery and started dealing with clients? Maybe it was a disgruntled client. Maybe it was a partner that fell up. Was there one iconic moment that made you either tighten the battens down or made a shift?
Yeah, and it's with the original creator of the studio, with Juan. It's. I understand that, or I don't have any understanding. I can't speak from his perspective at all. But what I can put together about what was going on with him is that it just wasn't something that was making him happy anymore. Like he wouldn't show up to the studio happy anymore. Like I said, we went 3 years with no new clients. There was nothing new, no excitement, nothing.
Bills still had to get paid. Overhead is
same thing, same business. We still got to pay the rent. No excitement there whatsoever. So at the end of 2018. Told me, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to focus on other things. And I knew it was coming. He was not there that often, and you get the feeling. You can tell when someone's like losing the enthusiasm.
The fire is going down, yeah.
The fire is going down, and he created this thing. So, like, I was like, okay, man, I'm gonna keep going because I love doing this. Like, I don't have a day job. At this point, all I have is Bravery Studios. I don't have a day job. I don't have anything, and He quit. December 2019. It was his New Year's resolution to either quit or go full steam with the studio, and he quit. A month after, and that month is when Jada signed with Jada's Girls Next Door. A month later, like February 2019, he left in December 2018, December 28th. February 2019, we signed probably like 10 people, 10 new podcasts.
Oh, shit.
10 new podcasts came in 1 month. This is the moment where Joe Rogan made the deal with Spotify and announced that he had made millions off of podcasting and he wanted to move to Texas. He had just announced that deal. So I think everyone heard that and said, I got to get into podcasting now. So 2019, we exploded. Bravery Studios turned into a full-scale business.
Wow.
So it's great for us, but here comes, and I don't want to speak bad about the guy. Like, I still love him like a brother. But he says, you're making money now. Okay. I want you to pay me for all the equipment, or I take all the equipment. I don't have the money for the equipment. I'm a business owner that just miraculously started to really make money in the business. And now I don't have the finances to give him whatever it was for all of the equipment. I don't have none of it. But he's like, you got to take it, you got to give me the money, or I'm going to come and take it. So at first I was like, oh man, this is nuts. This guy wants to destroy his own dream. And I'm like, I can't believe he's even like considering this. Like, we had a pact of like, it's verbally, handshake wise, we're like, I'm going to invest in whatever I put in the company, even if I leave, it's going to belong to the company.
Yeah.
So, I'm just there like starstruck and mind blown that he was coming for everything he paid for. And mind, he paid for everything. I didn't have any money. I like literally he paid for almost everything. So when he came, I asked a couple people. I asked like a mentor. I asked friends like, yo, can I stop him from coming and taking everything? And like, if he paid for it, you don't have a contract with him.
That's his.
He took everything. He called me up. He said, I'm coming to get it. I said, all right, come get it. So I'm sitting there in an empty room. I got a table and chairs, no microphones, no cameras, no computers. And I'm like, we had just signed 10 people, man. And I could not believe that I'm like sitting in an empty room right now. And shout out to Joe from Therapy Without a Degree. My clients we already built like such a strong relationship that they were like, all right, I have equipment at home you could use. Don't worry about it. And
Wow. Wow.
Joe, Zane, Natalie, they were like, we were podcasting at home before we came to Bravery Studios. We have the equipment. You can come. We're gonna bring our equipment here. You could use it until you get the money back to buy the equipment. And man, this is like that water when Moses opened the sea and like we crossed over to the other side. I was like, we made it through, man. We made it through the what was it, Red Sea?
Yeah.
We made it through. I was like, wow. Shout out to Joe. He saved the business. The guy single-handedly saved the business. Because it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap city.
Wow. SQR podcast called Rosenberg. He said, this is what we get. People think everything's a home run. And I wanted to get, I for some reason, I knew there was something there when I asked that question. And thank you for sharing that because my dude, wow.
Yeah.
I want people to realize sometimes you're brought back to zero before you're catapulted forward. We're going to take this final break, come back, dig into why Bravery Studios is so instrumental right now and what they're doing. And then we're going to ask Marv the producer those two magical questions. Stay tuned. SQR podcast. Marv the producer. Bravery Studios. 1. That was amazing, bro. That was classic. That was classic. Of course. Can we get the?
I started my career in media doing documentaries about Patterson. So it began at the beginning of this decade, 2010, and it's nice that right at the tail end of it, it's being bookended with an interview with the mayor of Patterson. Like, you cannot imagine, yes, coming right back around.
Complete full circle.
That is remarkable. Full circle. Yes, and it's been an amazing journey, and I can't wait for what comes next.
The journey has just begun for us.
Blue chicken.
SQR podcast. Score Rosenberg as we crack in with Marv. And I got to tell you, Marv, I didn't expect you to, I don't know, I didn't expect us to get this deep.
Me neither. What are you doing?
No, seriously, because this is the repertoire of the show, where we really get to know our guests. We entertain, educate, and encourage, through real stories from real people. As I said before, that's the mantra of the show. Yeah. However, as I get to dissect, I was listening to you, in our break, I realized you're so influenced by our culture that I do see a director in your future.
Let's do it.
I'm putting that energy out there in the universe right now. Your awareness to stimuli that's moving us in the right direction. Your attention to detail. The fact that we're now picking up from you're in the studio, your boy picked up all his equipment, you booked all these clients that have paid you, and they're like, use my equipment.
Yeah. So Joe, Therapy Without a Degree, Joe, Zane, Natalie, they single-handedly saved my business that day when they said use my equipment. a month gone by of using their stuff, and by that point, with the 10 clients, I was able to rebuy everything on my own. So we were right back. Okay, like nothing ever paused.
Boom, that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. God bless them, man. That's like the Secret Santa, like that was a beautiful thing.
So now that you've chopped into the podcast, you've now anchored yourself, and one of the things I've admired about Bravery Studio is, here at SQR Podcast, we have our hands in so many things, but it's things that are created in our own home. You are providing a home for podcasters to come in and get the voice out. So you don't have the equipment, but you can come right here because of service. Thank you so much to the Patterson Police Department. You were like an hour late, but you still came. Thank you. I guess the check cleared. As we were saying, so now that you're providing the client, I want to bring you back to, now that you're moving, have you ever experienced a fly on the wall moment where you look back, when you step out of you managing Bravery and we're like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this?
It was like even this month. Right now we're in the high period. Like we're doing the best we've ever done, and someone handed me a check for $10,000, and I'm like looking at it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is like most I've ever been paid in one single time.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And it's not all me. Steve, Will, Matt, the other guys that work with me in the studio, Scooter. I have a whole team now, so it's like, I'm just looking at it like, wow, this came from like us drinking beer, playing video games. Over here, someone just handed me a check for $10,000. You know what I mean? Like it's like a watershed moment where I'm ready to cry. Like this is
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this?
So, I've read this book, and everybody knows this book. It's called Think and Grow Rich. And one of the stories, it's about what life gives you if you're persistent enough. Life will say, okay, you know what, this guy's not going to stop. Let me give him what he's been going for. And that's what has happened in your scenario. Your final, as you see where Bravery is going and where Marv is going, where do you see yourself in the next 4 years?
Well, I hope to buy a building. I hope to I do idolize the owner of this building, Dave, from a distance. He probably doesn't even know me off a can of paint. But I admire what he created in the city where I was born and grew up, and I want to recreate this. More so in a way where it is for, like, I'm trying to say this without being like a copycat, but damn, you did something crazy and amazing, man. Like, this is
dude,
awesome here.
Copy is the greatest form of compliment, and
the most flattering form.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I want to do something like this, and I want to create a haven for artists and painters, even if not in this city, then somewhere, because this place literally shaped the trajectory of my life. Like it just someone brought me here one day, and I just was like, I gotta do this. This is where I'm going. This is it. Right here. This is it.
Wow. Can I ask you, what's mom's and dad perception now?
I don't know what my mother's is, to be honest with you. My mother loves me like anything, but it's not that easy yet to explain what podcasting is to someone. We're not there yet. It's not like a movie. I'm like, Mom, make a movie. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're like doing like Steven Spielberg stuff. I say I'm doing podcasting. She's like, oh, what? And I'm like, I can't explain it just yet to her. My father, my pops, God bless him, like just recently started to understand what I'm doing.
Okay. I mean, it's not like you need their validation, but it's always good to know,
I need it.
I respect that.
I need it. I'm working towards getting their approval. Like, I have a very childlike mind where, like, Dad, are you proud, man?
Yeah.
I'm hitting a home run, but in a different ballpark. I need it. No, I definitely need it, man.
I respect that, man. I love when you brought it back to the baseball Dominican thing. That's big.
Yeah.
No, that's big.
Oh, he's watching. You got to put baseball in it somewhere.
Yeah, so as we get ready to close, Marv, I got to tell you, I knew sitting across from you was going to be interesting, because as a podcaster to a podcaster, I wanted to, and I'm especially somebody I have admired in the way you've structured your business. I wanted to learn and find out the intricacies behind that. However, Now that we are here and you have positioned Bravery to be what it is, and I see where you're going. Every time we get to this point on the show, I love to propose this caveat question to my guest. And I give you the magic wand. You have 2 wishes. One of the wish cannot be for more wishes.
Okay.
It's 2 wishes. What's your first wish?
My first wish, I wish I learned how to play the guitar.
Why?
It's just cool, man. Like it has no.
That's got to be the most interesting wish anybody has ever said on this show.
Yeah, not anything to do with dreams or inspirations. I just always wanted to learn how to play the guitar.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's very tangible and doable.
Yeah, I can still do it, man. Just gotta get a magic lamp. And I can do it.
Your second wish?
I don't know. This is what I'm gonna do too. I want to go to Japan with my friends. Growing up, being very into like anime and Japanese culture. I want to go with my group of friends and go to Japan before we all get too old and have families and can't do it.
Yeah.
We got 2 weeks of just the bros, dressed up like samurais, walking around, Shibuya and whatnot, and eating ramen and sleeping in the little capsule hotel.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
You know what? Salute, my dude.
Yeah, I wish I had deeper answers for that.
No. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The answers aren't to impress me or to impress the guest.
Oh, thank God.
The answers are for you, my dude. So whatever it may be. So
I was trying to impress you. So
no. No, I've been completely impressed. As I've been told, this is another jewel I found as we go through today. So on this, as we get ready to wrap, SQR Podcast, Score Rosenberg, the honor it is or has been to sit across from me and dissect. And thank you so much for being vulnerable. At the end of the day, my dude, people are going to watch this or listen to this podcast and go, wow, that's what inspired him.
Can I talk about you for a second? You are probably the best interviewer. I've never been able to talk about myself in a place where I feel comfortable and I feel like I'm being able to tell the story and it kind of makes sense. It has a narrative. You ask me the right questions in an order and sequence where all right, this puzzle is starting to line up. And
wow.
You're good at this, man. You're good.
Wow. No, you're having me choking up. Not gonna do that, son. You're not having me leaking on my show, bro. You're not having me leaking on my show, bro. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. No, thank you so much for that.
You're good. Barbara Walters, no, you're what's the guy that's a vampire that's over the desk? He's not a real vampire.
Oh, you mean Larry King?
You're like Larry King a little bit. Larry King a little bit.
No, I'll take that. Yeah. I'll take that because at the end of the day, as one of my most profound guests has ever said, big shout out to Royal Flush from Queens, the governor of Queens. He said, energy over everything.
Bing bong.
You know what I mean? And that's what you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
Energy over everything. So as we get ready to close, Marv, could you let people know where they can find you? If you have a podcast that wants to get done, how they could connect with your studio and your services, please. Look into the main. Go.
Marv the Producer. You find me at Marv the Producer on Instagram. Find me at braverystudios.com. And you can find me on planet Earth, man. I'm a human. I just want to shake your hand and go on this journey for your dreams and whatnot.
Powerful. SQR Podcast, Score Rosenberg, Marv the Producer, Bravery Studio, another epic podcast in the bag. Thank you guys. Stay tuned. One. Bong, 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 bong. Yo, my dude, that was fucking excellent, my dude.